guys, welcome back to The Right Side. Macy here, The Right Side Girl, and today I'm going to do some island book recommendations. Alright, so these are going to be some book recommendations about books that are on or feature islands. I do have a first edition of this video that you can check out if you want more recommendation. I think this one was done 3 years ago, but I have read so many other island themed books since then that are perfect for summer, also perfect for Mermaid Marathon, which is my upcoming mermaid pirate island themed readathon. So I thought we were due for an update. Not all of these books are going to be summertime tropical vibes. Some of them have cozy vibes. Some of them are done at different times of the year because obviously islands exist at all times of the year. But I've compiled a nice little list for you, so we're going to dive right in. First, we're going to start with the ones that I don't own or that I can't find my physical copies of. So the first one is The Island by Natasha Preston. Now, I wound up only giving this one a 3-star, which is kind of a mediocre rating for me. However, I want to put it on this list because I feel like some of you are really going to love it. We'll talk about why I didn't love it in just a second. It has a premise that I really enjoy. So this one is set on Jagged Island, which is a private island amusement park for the very rich or the very influential. Liam, James, Will, Ava, Harper, and Paisley, all social media influencers with millions of followers, have been invited for an exclusive weekend before the park opens. They'll make posts and videos for their social media channels and report on every second of the VIP treatment. When the teens arrived, they are stunned. The resort is even better than they imagined. Their hotel rooms are all unreal, and the park's themed rides are incredible. The island itself is hauntingly beautiful. Plus, they're given a jam-packed weekend full of adventure. But they will discover something's missing from their island schedule, getting off the island alive. This is a trope that I tend to love. Social media influencers and people like that getting invited somewhere, particularly to like an island. It's got like fire festival vibes to it. Usually they're deceived in some way or they have to try to escape. I put a Solstice on the other island book list. It's one that I really enjoyed. And we'll talk about another one here in a second. This one, I loved the atmosphere. I liked getting to know the characters. There's always like annoying, obnoxious characters that kind of learn a lesson. And usually we have like one character that doesn't quite fit in with the other style of characters. Like she's there on a scholarship or she's there on accident and doesn't necessarily have like the following or the fame of the other ones. What I didn't love about this one is the ending is a little bit infuriating, but I also kind of liked that at the same time because sometimes I like books to kind of make me feel certain things. Go in this knowing that the ending is a little bit open-ended / annoying, but if you like this style of read, I thought it was a good one still, so I wanted to include it. On that same vein is Lord of the Fly Fest by Goldie Moldavsky. So I read this one last year, I think, and I just had such a good time with it. So this is another YA tropical island standalone. So Rafi Francisco needs a splashy case to put her true crime podcast on the map. Her plan is to go to Fly Fest, an exclusive music festival on a Caribbean island, and land an interview with headliner River Stone, who rocketed to stardom after his girlfriend's mysterious disappearance, and expose him as the killer that she's sure that he is. But when Rafi, along with the hordes of influencers, arrive at Fly Fest, the dreamy getaway they were promised turns out to be a nightmare. Again, giving kind of Fire Festival vibes, Coachella vibes. I thought this one was really fun. It definitely has a survival element and a Lord of the Flies element. This one's just like silly and quirky, but I had a blast with it. It's such a good summer read. Next is The Depths by Nicole L'Esperance. I talked about this one recently in my May reading wrap-up. I had such a good time reading this book. This one is set on Yele Island, and our main character is going there with her mother, who is on her honeymoon because they don't really want to leave her alone. She is a diver and she's not really allowed to dive right now for health reasons. This is making her depressed and upset, so they bring her along on this vacation. When she gets there, she meets this like mysterious boy, and the flowers start to change color on the island. There's this little girl running around in the woods and the birds seem to be calling her name, and you're kind of uncovering this mystery. There's a little romance in here. You're uncovering the mystery of the island. There's ghosts. It's a little spooky. It was really fun, very unique. I had such a fun time with it, so loved this one. Next, we have Hitched the Bachelorette. So this one has a bachelorette style vibe to it. I believe this one's considered adult, but I could be wrong. This is part of a series and they're kind of like all binge-worthy shorter shorter reads. This is an indie book, so we have 25 supernatural bachelors, an innocent human girl, and 6 weeks to choose the one. When struggling actress Kimmy Jane Starr discovers she's snagged a starring role on the next huge reality TV show, Hitched, she thinks all her dreams have finally come true, but as she lands on the beautiful island of Mystic Cove, something feels wrong. 25 bachelors are all heart-stoppingly gorgeous, but she's certain they're all hiding something supernatural. This one is very like bingeable, kind of fast food style reading. All of the bachelors are really fun to get to know. The romance is kind of like over the top and silly, but I liked the island setting. I love that there were like vampires and werewolves and all different kinds of creatures and different kinds of boys, and she's like unsuspecting. I really enjoyed this first one. I liked the second one okay. I kind of liked them less and less as they went on, but this is a fun one if you want something different and super quick to get through. Next we have One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. This is another reality TV competition style. It's my second Ruth Ware and I absolutely loved it. So this is an adult standalone thriller. We're following Lila, who's in a bit of a rut. Her postdoctoral research has fizzled out. She's pretty sure that they won't extend her contract, and things with her boyfriend Nico, an inspiring actor, aren't going great. When the opportunity arises for Nico to join the cast of a new reality TV show, The Perfect Couple, she decides to try out with him. A whirlwind audition process later, and Lila finds herself whisked off to a tropical paradise with Nico boating through the Indian Ocean toward Ever After Island, where the two of them will compete against 4 other couples in order to win a cash prize. But not long after they arrive on the deserted island, things start to go wrong. So we have mysterious events that happen in here, fast-paced things. This one had such a good like women empowerment friendship vibe. It's not as light and fluffy as the other ones because it is adult. There are some harder hitting topics in here, but in general it is such a good time. I really love the deserted island TV show setting as well. I thought the vibes of this one were great. Like the island tropical TV show vibes were really fun. So it's such a good summertime read. Next we have The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. This is actually a middle grade novel, the first I think in a series or a trilogy. Can a robot survive the wilderness? So we have Robot Roz, and she opens her eyes and discovers that she is on a deserted island, all alone in the remote wilderness. She has no idea how she got there or what her purpose is, but she does know that she needs to survive. After battling a storm and surviving a vicious bear attack, she realizes her only hope is to adapt to her surroundings and learn from the island's unwelcoming animal inhabitants. Roz begins to befriend the animals, and the island slowly starts to feel like home. This is such a precious book. It's so cute. I've heard the movie's incredible. I need to watch the movie. It has more depth to it than you would think for a middle grade. Such a quick read. I love the illustrations in the book, so highly recommend. Next we have The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shield. I have a gorgeous copy of this one, but I put it away because I'm getting a new shelf, and so I've got some stacks of books that aren't homed yet. I read this one for a flower themed readathon and it was absolutely magical and perfect. This is an adult cozy fantasy standalone read, but there is a little bit of magic and intensity in it towards the end. We're following 21-year-old Marigold Claude. She prefers the company of the spirits of the meadow to any suitor, and when her grandmother arrives to whisk her away to a family cottage on the tiny Isle of Innisfree, offering to train her as the next Honey Witch, she accepts immediately. But her newfound magic comes with a price. No one is allowed to fall in love with the Honey Witch. Kind of against traditional romance and love. She's a little bit unlikable in that way because she kind of judges people that choose to like fall in love and get married. And then she kind of learns things about herself and learns about love and friendship. There's a beautiful female-female romance in here. I really liked the magical elements. There's a lot to do with food and animals and flowers and bees, and I just really had such a good time with it. This was one of my favorite reads that I read this year. Not necessarily tropical vibes, but still set on an island. Then we have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I have an extremely hit or miss relationship with Alice Feeney. The first one I read from her was Rock, Paper, Scissors, and I loved it so much. It was one of my favorite thrillers that I've ever read. And then I read 2 or 3 of her other ones and I did not like them. Like, her writing is always amazing, and on audio her narrators are always top notch, but sometimes they get extremely dark and kind of messed up in ways that I can't handle. But this one I really enjoyed. It's my second favorite of hers, and I would say the most unique and the most surprising. So this This is an adult standalone thriller. After years of avoiding each other, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. Finally back together one last time, when the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. Family arrives, each of them harboring secrets. Then at the stroke of midnight, a storm begins to rage. Nana is found dead, and an hour later, the next family member follows. This one has resemblances of Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I thought it was so good. This one is a really good one for Halloween time because it's set, I think, on actually Halloween Day because the grandmother's birthday is on Halloween. So it has really good summerween vibes if you're looking for something for that kind of style. Definitely like spookier and darker than a lot of the other books on this list. A solid thriller though. I thought the pacing was really good and I really enjoyed it. All right, then we have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is another cozy fantasy. It is adult. It is technically a standalone, although there is a prequel coming out that is about the sentient spider plant that is in here. So Keelia has always had trouble dealing with people. Thankfully, as a librarian at the Great Library of Alyssum, she and her assistant Kaz, a magically sentient spider plant, have spent the last decades sequestered among the Empire's most precious spell books, preserving their magic for the entire city. When a revolution begins and the entire library goes up in flames, she and Kaz flee with all the spell books they can carry and head to a remote island that Keelia thought she would never see again, her childhood home. Taking refuge there, Kira discovers to her dismay a very handsome and nosy neighbor who keeps showing up day after day to make sure she is fed and fix up her new home. In need of an income, Kira discovers something that the count doesn't have: jam. With help of an old recipe book her parents left her and some illegal magic, her cottage is soon covered with ripe berries. So she opens up this magical jam shop and nobody knows that it's magical, but all the people in the town kind of take her in and try to help her fix up the cottage. They love her jam. There's a handsome, cute neighbor. There is some solid like fantasy world magical elements in here. So while it is cozy, I didn't feel like it was like a slow cozy read, but it was really incredibly sweet. I absolutely loved this one. Really excited for the prequel that's coming out as well. And it's still set on an island. We have Questland by Carrie Vaughn. This one is something incredibly unique if you want something super different. So literature professor Dr. Addie Cox is living a happy, if not sheltered life in her ivory tower when Harris Lang, the famous eccentric billionaire tech genius, offers her an unusual job. He wants her to guide a mercenary strike team sent to infiltrate his island retreat off the northwest coast of the United States. Addie is puzzled about her role on the mission until she discovers what Lang has built. Insula Mirabilis, an isolated resort where tourists will one day pay big bucks for the convincing high-tech fantasy world experience, complete with dragons, unicorns, and yes, magic. I loved this so much. If you like D&D, this is the book for you. I don't personally play D&D, but I like the D&D vibes. This is like a game, theme park, magical fantasy world that she has to infiltrate and try and discover something that's wrong with it. It is just so incredibly unique. There's all these different worlds inside of the game, so it feels kind of like a video game at some point as well, or a board game. Such a unique one and such a fun read. The Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins, another islandy thriller. I read this one 2 years ago, had the best time with it. My first Rachel Hawkins book. Beautiful, wild, and strange, Moreau Island is in a desolate spot in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, with a mysterious history of cannibalism, shipwrecks, and even murder. It's the perfect destination for an adventurous traveler to escape everything except the truth. 6 stunning 20-somethings are about to embark on a blissful, free-spirited journey, one filled with sun-drenched days and intoxicating nights, but as it becomes more clear, the group is even more cut off from civilization than they initially thought. The island itself is closing in, sending them on a dangerous spiral of discovery. This one is just such a fun thriller. Got some dangerous action adventure type things, some mysterious personalities, a lot of women empowerment in this one as well. Really great tropical vibes, and I just had a really good time with it. The Islands at the End of the World by Austin Aslan. This is book 1 of a YA duology. 16-year-old Leilani loves surfing in Hilo on the big island of Hawaii, but she is an outsider, half Hawaiian, half white, and epileptic. While Lei and her father are on a visit to Oahu, a global disaster disaster strikes. Technology and a power fail and Hawaii is cut off from the rest of the world. This is such a unique book. I thought the character had good representation for epilepsy. I don't know a lot about it, but I liked following her character and learning about her struggles. They go to this other island to find treatment for her, and there may or may not be a reason for it. And then there's this big survival element that takes place when they are cut off from the rest of the world. There are some like brutal scenes in here that she's having to like survive with her father. I think they get like chased by dogs but at one point. It gets a little bit intense, but I read this one so quickly I couldn't stop reading. There's even some kind of, I don't want to say magical, but other elements in here that make it really interesting. There's some Hawaiian lore, and I just really thought it was such a unique read. Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I'm not sure why I didn't put this one in the last video because I had definitely read it by then. Another super silly fun time. So this is a YA standalone about a group of beauty queens that are on their way to a competition, and their plane crashes and they get stranded on a desert island and they have to survive. Very like Lord of the Flies, kind of got that influencer vibe as well, except with like the beauty queens. There are some tropes involving like beauty queens and pageant girls that you may or may not like they make fun of them kind of in this book in some ways, but then not in other ways. They kind of break tropes as well. We're following the girls as they kind of try to survive. There's like a mystery that happens on an island, and everything is just kind of chaotic. It's just a really fun read. It's very silly. There are also little commercials at the beginning of some of the chapters that I thought were really fun on audio especially. So Miss Teen Dream Fun Facts page. Please fill in the following information and return Jessie Jane Miss Teen Dream Pageant Administration Assistant before Monday. Remember, this is a chance for the judges and the audience to get to know you. So make it interesting and fun, but please be appropriate. And don't forget to mention something you love about our sponsor, the corporation. So we get these fun little like infomercials and things in between as well, like commercial break. A perky mom carrying a laundry basket enters her teen daughter's bedroom. So it's really like silly and different and fun and really good island vibes. Greywolf Island by Tracy Nethercott, another YA standalone. This one has slight Raven Boys vibes, as in we've got like one girl and I believe there's 4 boys and they're on a treasure hunt. Right before Sadie died, she begged her sister Ruby to do one thing: find the treasure on Greywolf Island. With just a mysterious treasure map as a guide, Ruby reluctantly allows some friends to join her on the hunt, each of whom is touched by a hint of magic. A boy allegedly born to a virgin, a girl who never sleeps, a boy who can foresee his own death, and a boy with deep ties to the island. Each of them is keeping a secret they must reveal in order to find the treasure. So this one gave me kind of Raven Boys vibe, ragtag team of characters. This one had some meaningful conversations, some really sweet, deep friendships that formed. You're following these characters on the journey. I really liked the element of like hiking and treasure hunting on this island that has its own lore. A few harder hitting topics in here with grief and parental disputes and things like that. But I thought it was really beautifully well done, and I really enjoyed this unique read. Next we have a fantasy, and that is The Vicious Grace by Emily Theed. This is the first in a YA duology that I so enjoyed. I read this one a couple of years ago. This is the Fairy Loot edition. This cover looks a little bit different. So Alessa is supposed to have a gift from the gods that magnifies her partner's magic, not kill every suitor from her touch. Now, with only weeks left until a swarm of demons devours her island home, Alessa is running out of time to find a partner to stop the invasion. When a powerful priest convinces the faithful that killing Alessa is the island's only hope, even one of her own soldiers tries to assassinate her. Desperate to survive, Alessa hires Dante, a cynical outcast marked as a killer, to become her personal bodyguard. This is such a unique read. Alessa is supposed to have this power that magnifies her partner that she is supposed to choose, but instead she winds up killing people, and so people are reluctant to try and be her partner, and so the island thinks that killing her will be their best option rather than trying to find a new suitor. But she winds up calling a bunch of people in to practice with and see if they can fight this swarm of demons away from the island. I liked the island vibes. It has Italian coast vibes to it as well. I really liked the romance in here. It's slow burn, it's snarky, it's cute. This is one of the first fairy loots that I ever read, and I really enjoyed it. Alright, so those are some island reads that I have read somewhat recently and really enjoyed, or thought that you guys might enjoy. Let me know if you plan on picking up any of these for your summer reading or for your Mermaid Marathon TBR. Don't forget to check out that other island video if you haven't seen it yet, as well as a lot of other summer mermaid vibe book recommendations as well. I'll list them all down below in the description. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side.